Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to go over our Forex trades for today, Thursday, January 14th. Just one trade, which we lost 7.4 pips on a size-adjusted basis, which you'll see there. First, just want to talk about, wasn't a whole lot of economic news. It was initial jobless claims. That is a weekly number, so you don't put too much weight in it. It came out higher than expected, so basically more people looking for or out of work. It's at a 6-month high for whatever that's worth. It surged the most since 2009, so it was the biggest monthly jump since 2009. So, but again, it's a weekly number, so I don't know how much weight you put in it. ECB accounts from the ECB meeting that took place a month or so ago. The biggest thing out of that showed that some of the members argued for more stimulus. And if you remember in yesterday's video, we discussed that Goldman Sachs is expecting the ECB to either extend the period of their stimulus or quantitative easing, whichever you'd like to call it. They're either going to extend it beyond March of 2017 or increase the size of it, or do both. So that's what Goldman Sachs was arguing yesterday, or at least claiming that they believe. That's what they believe. That's what they said yesterday. And here, the meeting minutes came out today showing that some of the members of the ECB were arguing for more stimulus. So I think Goldman Sachs is on the right track there. Bank of England came out. They left their interest rates unchanged and the size of the stimulus program the same. So they haven't touched that. Let's see. James Bullard came out talking about the economy. He's one of the Fed governors, and he carries a lot of influence on Wall Street, investing, currencies, whatever. He said drop in inflation expectations becoming worrisome. Low oil prices still net positive for U.S. economy. We've been saying that all along. That's basic economics 101. Lower oil prices is net positive for the economy. Although some people try to argue against it, but it's obvious it is. Look, if you're paying, what would you rather pay, $1 per gallon when you're buying gas, or would you rather be paying $4? Right? So the answer is simple. And I understand the argument that, well, oil's going down because there's less demand for it, because trucks aren't going around, and planes aren't traveling as much. That's not why oil's going down. Oil's going down because there's a lot of supply, but beyond a lot of supply is that the traders of oil, they go from extremes, right? Just like you're trading a currency pair. They go from one extreme to the other. So when we were paying $4 a gallon and oil was at whatever, $120, $130, $140 a barrel, that was probably way too high, probably way overpriced. But they're looking at a chart of oil just like you're looking at a chart here. And if they're not investing or trading oil as a direct hedge for their business, as airline companies do and trucking companies and rail companies do, then they're in it just for pure profit, as you would be trading, say, a currency pair. And so you have billions upon billions, if not trillions of dollars that are in trading oil just for the purpose of profit. So you have extremes. And here oil actually broke $30 a barrel at one point yesterday. It's back above it. Probably shouldn't be that low. Is it going to continue going down? Could be. There's been calls for it to be 20 to 25 from analysts. There's one analyst yesterday who was saying could go as low as $10. Because the analysts at the big firms, they know what it's all about. And it's not basically supply and demand when it comes to the price of oil, or even for the price of gold for that matter, or the price of wheat, or the price of this currency pair. It's the buyers and sellers. And if you get more sellers than buyers, you're going to drive it down. And that's what's happening to oil right now. So what is a fair market value for oil? I don't know. Some analysts that do write up reports based on fair market value, I've read, are putting it between $60 and $70 a barrel, which is about half of the high it was, whatever, a couple of years ago, and about double from where it is right now. So those analysts that do fair market value, they're looking at supply and demand, coming out of the amount of oil coming out of the earth, the demand for it, and whatever. So going back to what Fed Bullard said, I totally agree that lower oil prices is definitely going to be is definitely a positive for the economy. It's going to put more money in everyone's pocket, and most people are going to spend it and not save it. But he did say the inflation there is being worrisome. And look, we've been arguing that for several years now. You have quantitative easing, you had zero-bound interest rates, and very little inflation. How is that happening, right? And we've discussed that, why it's happening. And finally, one of the Fed guys is actually, admitting that it's worrisome instead of everyone else putting on these rose-colored glasses like Janet Yellen does and says how great things are. At least this guy is sort of waking up. So he's a big influence on markets around the world. He also said markets FOMC not thinking in terms of a January move. So it looks like a rate hike in January is probably going to be off the table if you listen to Bullard. So that's a positive there. Another thing I just wanted to bring up real quick. It was reported today that the number of junk-rated companies that defaulted on their debt repayments doubled in 2015, according to Moody's. So here's Moody's telling us that the number of companies that defaulted on their debt repayments of junk-rated companies doubled in 2015, yet the Fed, or I should say, we could say the Fed, Janet Yellen, and the president are telling us how great the economy is. Just the other night, the Tuesday night at the State of the Union address, the president said whoever's saying that the economy in the United States is not strong is what was the words he said? Passing fabrication or lies or whatever. That's absolutely he couldn't be more wrong, because numbers don't lie, and the numbers are showing that the economy is very weak. Granted, it's not the financial crisis of 2008 when the guy took office. We all know that. But that financial crisis would have happened whether it was him, Clinton, Reagan, Kennedy, or Jesus Christ himself as president. It would have happened. It was inevitable. No one was going to stop it. No one had the force. Very few people had the foresight that it was even coming, so they couldn't have stopped it. So of course the economy is going to be better now than it was when the man took office. But you could have put anyone in there, right? We could have had you, me, anyone as president, and the economy is going to get better because everyone else was doing everything to support the economy. Everyone else's policies, the Federal Reserve is there, right? And they're the ones that at least stabilized the economy and gave it a little bit of a boost. But to say the economy is not strong and that anyone talking about it being not strong or being weak is lying, it's absolutely incorrect. You wouldn't have all these companies defaulting on their debt repayments if the economy was great. It's just obvious. So just wanted to bring that up real quick. Let's get to the trade. We had one trade, which was, we mentioned this yesterday that we were in this euro pound. We had 4 trades yesterday that were really, really solid. This was the one that we were in. We've been in it for a few days. And we were short this, only 5% of our normal size. We were short from 0.74522. You can see what it did. It went against us right off the bat. We were actually flat at one point for quite a long time, actually. And then it started to run back up, came back down, almost flat again, and then just took off overnight last night. And we got stopped out with a loss of 148 pips, or size adjusted 7.4 pips. So not the worst thing in the world, not great. And unfortunately, we just didn't have any other trades that we closed out this morning. So we'll have to take it, and we'll move on to tonight and tomorrow morning. So have a great rest of your day. If you're still trading now, good luck. And if any signals come out, they'll be coming your way. All right, good luck.